people were arrested last night?
I don't have a hard number on that, but it remains a very volatile situation, and police, we know that dozens have been arrested, since the first riot broke out on Sunday night, and police tell us they expect, as long if things continue in that neighborhood, that number is going to go up.
We were mentioning a few minutes ago, I caught, I think this was in the KMOX or one of the radio stations down in St. Louis had done a little piece on how gun sales exponentially, they've gone through the roof.
Mm-hmm. Well, people want to protect themselves.
I never would have thought that this type of incident would have sparked this much outrage when clearly there was a scuffle in the police cruiser. It's not like the officer stood up and shot this kid down in the middle of the street. The kid, by best accounts, attacked the officer first.
Well, that's one version. Police say that the officer was attacked while sitting in his police cruiser, and that a scuffle ensued, and that there was a fight for the officer's handgun, and that's when the officer opened fire. Of course, you've got another witness who, by the way, refuses to talk to police, who will only talk to the FBI, who says that essentially Michael Brown, the 18-year-old man who was killed over the weekend, was essentially an innocent bystander who had his hands up in the air and who was essentially attacked by police.
Well, I mean, and also, too, guys, he was shot in the face. He wasn't shot in the back. It wasn't as if he was running away. He was standing there, and the witness said he had his hands up in the air.
Yeah.
So is there any possibility, does anybody have any video of this alleged scuffle between Michael Brown and the Ferguson, Missouri police officer?
Boy, if they did, I'd certainly love to see it. I think a lot of people would love to see it. It would answer a lot of questions, and how contentious and volatile this case has already gotten in just 4 days or so. National implications, just much like the Trayvon Martin case did. Especially when you've got people like Al Sharpton showing up and fueling the fire. You've got the same attorney who represented Trayvon Martin's family now representing this family. The NAACP is involved. The Justice Department immediately got involved. But we should know the truth. We absolutely should. I mean, an 18-year-old man is dead, and that's a very sad thing. We should get to the bottom of it. And the FBI now investigating. You've got President Obama making a statement, essentially also calling for calm. But just the fact that he got involved is a big deal. And so we hope to know the truth.
Jeff, thank you very much for the update. Much appreciated, sir.
You bet.
Take care. Jeff Manasso reporting for Fox on our Turnkey.pro answer line. Jeff touched on it, but I want to elaborate. Okay, fine. I'm willing to let the process play out. I, too, want to know what's going on. I want to know if the officer acted appropriately. If not, he'll be punished. However, that doesn't mean you can help yourself to electronics and shoes until the process is completed.
And I understand that, and that infuriates me, too, and I hate seeing that video. And I'm sure Michael Brown wouldn't want to be remembered in that way with people looting. But then go arrest those people. You have video of those people stealing those items.
Thank you.
Go
That's
get
right.
them.
If you loot, if you riot, guess what? You're going to jail. That's step number one. I wish somebody had the courage to do that.
It's news.
This is a situation that is really changing by the minute.
It's opinion.
The gun laws are so restrictive.
It's insight.
I'm not trying to be funny.
AM 560, The Answer.
You know you're happy with life when you literally enjoy everything around you. A good, positive environment, simple luxuries, and time with family and friends. It's time to keep that streak going at the TriStar Open House Block Party in Bourbonnais, Saturday, August 16th from 1 to 5 p.m. TriStar loves family and friends just as much as you do, and they want to thank current and new residents for being a part of their community. Food, raffles, and prizes for all ages will lead the way to a fantastic day, and you'll also have the chance to see what everyone in the TriStar family is happy about by touring their campus. A clubhouse, a pool, furnished models, and all the comforts of home in a budget-friendly manufactured home community that will keep you smiling and happy year-round. New homes beginning at $39,000 and used at $15,000. Join the TriStar Open House Block Party Saturday, August 16th from 1 to 5 p.m. at the corner of Route 45 and 5000 Road in Bourbonnais. Visit TriStarHomes.net today for more information. That's TriStarHomes.net.
If you're a business owner, your number one responsibility is keep your employees and your customers safe. Same thing at your home, keeping your family safe. Alarm Detection Systems of Chicago now offering free checkups, residential systems and or business systems. They're a local company, but bigger and better than the national brands. They never utilize any outside vendors. Why don't you get yourself a free evaluation now? Go to adsalarm.com or call them at 630-844-6322. We did.
Hi, I'm Frank McCoy, the Chief Engineer for AM 560, The Answer. We use alarm detection systems for our broadcast tower sites. These places are very tempting to thieves and vandals, and they're also absolutely vital to our business. Recently, I was at one of our sites that I don't visit that often. I turned off the alarm system as usual, but was surprised when my cell phone rang right away. It was Alarm Detection Systems. Their remote monitoring didn't indicate trouble, but Alarm Detection Systems staff knew my habits well enough to know that this was unusual. They just called to make sure everything was okay. I liked that the staff at Alarm Detection Systems was paying attention, not just waiting for trouble to occur. That's what you want protecting the vital assets of your business or your family.
Thank you, Frank. Don't wait. Get a free alarm and security checkup. You need one in this day and age. Go to adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6322. Alarm Detection Systems, protecting lives and property. Illinois Alarm License 127-000-143.
Be honest. Will owning a bigger TV help you get ahead in life? Will another pair of shoes make you a better person? Probably not. But what if you could speak another language? If acquiring a new language excites you more than acquiring more stuff, then wait until you hear this. As part of its biggest language learning event in history, Rosetta Stone is giving away demos of its powerful language learning software absolutely free. For your free demo, call 1-800-221-8116. And Rosetta Stone has made language learning more convenient than ever. Learn on your computer or iPad, then practice on the go with your smartphone or MP3 player without ever opening a book or memorizing boring vocabulary again. Do you want more stuff, or do you want a language that will last a lifetime? After all, it's all about priorities. To try a free demo of this powerful language learning software, call 1-800-221-8116. Again, get your free demo now. 1-800-221-8116. That's 1-800-221-8116.
AM 560, The Answer.
With all this trial and tribulation around the world, a warm and fuzzy coming up regarding little leaguers here in Chicago. We'll tell you how you can help here. And next, Rachel Sutherland will join us on the political implications of Obama and Vice President trying to get something going between the Israelis and, of course, the Palestinians, that in Cairo. Rachel joins us coming up next. Now at 8:30, let's get caught up on today's headlines and breaking news. Once again, and for Mike, here's Tom Beck.
John, Amy, thanks. Another leading doctor in Sierra Leone has died of Ebola. The outbreak has killed more than 1,000 people in West Africa. Many of the dead are health workers who are working with inadequate supplies and protection. 5 climbers have died on Mont Blanc in the French Alps. A 6th is missing. Interesting take on the Islamic State group from Egypt's top cleric. Grand Mufti Shaki Alam calls it a terrorist organization which is, quote, violating all the Islamic principles and the intentions of the Sharia Islamic law. The body of a Chicago woman has been found stuffed inside a suitcase on the Indonesian resort island of Bali, and her daughter and daughter's boyfriend are arrested. 62-year-old Sheila Van Wies-Mack reportedly had been badly beaten. Police say closed-circuit television footage shows the victim and her daughter had an argument at their motel. Bad flooding reported in parts of New York and New Jersey this morning, where more than 9 inches of rain fell overnight. The rain was part of the same system that dumped record rain on the Detroit area Monday, resulting in flooding there. Third straight night of confrontations between police and protesters in and around the St. Louis suburb of Ferguson, Missouri. The protesters want answers about the shooting death of an unarmed teenager who was killed by police Saturday. A downtown Chicago bridge is temporarily closed while work continues on the Riverwalk project. The Chicago Department of Transportation says the bridge over the Chicago River at State Street is closed and is scheduled to remain closed through August 23rd. News is brought to you by Cabela's. Come to Cabela's Fall Great Outdoor Days. It's their biggest sale and event of the season. Plus, don't miss Saturday 8 a.m. doorbusters. Visit them in Hoffman Estates or Hammond, Indiana. News time is 8:32. How bad is traffic? We'll have the answer coming up on AM 560. The Answer.
Israel is not the bad guy.
The Joe Walsh Show.
A nation defending herself can't be deemed the provocateur. Hamas is a dangerous organization. How dangerous? They have summer camps where they teach children how to be terrorists. What's next? An improv group called Ha-Ha-Mas to target the 14 to 25-year-old demo?
The Joe Walsh Show.
I stand with Israel.
Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Apt. For electronics and appliances, with free shipping on thousands of items. Visit abt.com. Apt. Pleasing people since 1936.
Fight foreclosure. Save your home. Never give up the land. 224-513-1231. Bridges Owen Associates are attorneys on the front lines of mortgage defense and litigation. They are dedicated to helping you keep your home. With over 30 years of experience, they have extensive knowledge of the options available: underwater mortgages, principal reductions, loan modification, and short sale negotiations. Help is available. A highly skilled, passionate team of attorneys with over 30 years litigation experience, ready to defend your rights and save your home. The firm concentrates in defending foreclosures, suing lenders for consumer law violations, negotiating loan modification, and other solutions. Their team of attorneys and loan specialists has helped hundreds of homeowners avoid foreclosure. FightIllinoisForeclosures.com. Call for a free consultation, 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231. Never give up the land.
At 8:34 in our ChicagoRadioDeals.com traffic center, here's Jim.
Thanks, Tom. Eden's inbound, slow Foster to the junction. 21 minutes like Cook to Montrose, outbound 30. The inbound Kennedy delays start at Foster. 36 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 36 as well. Inbound Eisenhower, 49 minutes, Thorndale to the post office. 33 from Mannheim. Outbound 46 minutes, post office to Thorndale. Inbound Stevenson, the heavy delays are First Avenue to Kedzie. 57 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound it's 40. The Ryan is 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. Lakeshore Drive has a northbound delay, Roosevelt to Jackson. Northbound Tri-State, slow 95th to 31st and Roosevelt to North Avenue. Adams Tollway heavy approaching Barrington Road. Reagan Tollway still very slow from before Randall to 59. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
More John Howell and Amy Jacobson coming your way next. Now, your official Chicagoland weather forecast, a service of Morrison Security at morrisonsecurity.com. Sunny to partly cloudy and warmer, a high 81. Thursday, sunny to partly cloudy, pleasant, high 77. Friday, partly sunny and nice, some rain at night, high of 82. Right now, mostly sunny and 65 degrees at O'Hare, 66 in Midway, and 66 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update at 9 o'clock. Continuous coverage of the latest news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. Now, more of John Howell and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Power Trading Radio. Heard Sundays at 2 p.m. Brought to you each week by Online Trading Academy.
The globe is, if not afire, simmering, that's for sure. Gaza, Iraq, oh gosh, 3 or 4 other flashpoints, Ukraine. Watching all of it, Rachel Sutherland joins us in just a couple seconds. She's reporting for Fox News. We'll start with Iraq and what's going on in northern Iraq. Now, I was told by our president many times that this was all over. In fact, we had reached the end of combat in Iraq, and yet this morning we're learning 130 additional troops in Iraq.
This is the end, beautiful friend.
For the first time in 9 years, there are no Americans fighting in Iraq. 4 years ago, I promised to end the war in Iraq. We did. 4 years ago, I promised to end the war in Iraq. I did. 4 years ago, I promised to end the war in Iraq. And I did. I told you we'd end the war in Iraq. We did. I said we'd end the Iraq war. We did. I told you I'd end the war in Iraq. And we did. I ended the war in Iraq as I promised. In 2008, I promised we'd end the war in Iraq. We've ended it. I was able to keep my promise and end the war in Iraq. In 2008, I promised we would end the war in Iraq, and we've ended it. The war in Iraq is over. The war in Iraq is over from ending the war in Iraq. That's why I ended the war in Iraq.
This is the
All right, well, let's start with Iraq and ISIS and what's going on with the Kurds. We welcome back to the program Rachel Sutherland reporting for Fox. Hi, Rachel. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Is the White House going way out of their way to say these 130 additional Americans are not combat troops, they are advisors?
Well, they are saying that. They're saying that they are planners, advisors. What they're tasked with doing is trying to figure out how to get these Christians and other minority groups off of this mountain in the northern part of Iraq. We've been hearing about atrocities that basically Islamic State there saying either convert or die. They're cut off from food and water. Just a terrible situation. So these advisors, as you mentioned, 130 military personnel, they're going to plan this rescue mission. Now, some are looking sideways at that, saying, well, okay, call them advisors, combat troops. But Secretary Hagel is definitely saying this is not a combat role.
Well, it's an advisory position until one of our F-16s gets shot down.
Well, that's a good point, because these personnel could come into contact with the terrorists, and they don't play around. I mean, this could get into a dangerous situation. But at this point, the Obama administration is firm in saying that this is not a combat mission. You can imagine that administration would not want to say they're engaging in combat in Iraq, since President Obama did campaign on that very issue of pulling us out of there.
Yeah, in fact, we played a montage just as you were coming on of just a few of his instances where he said, look, I've ended the war in Iraq. But that being said, I mean, are they so scared of being called a flip-flopper that they're not willing to go in, full boat? In other words, the old adage, make no small plans here. If you're in there and you're shooting, why not go in with everything you have as opposed to this incrementalism? Are they so terrified of being accused of being a flip-flopper?
Well, that's a good question, and certainly this would look like to some, it would look like mission creep, that we started with one agenda and get dragged into something else. And I'm sure that you're very familiar with the president saying we're not going to get dragged into another conflict in Iraq. And so I think they're going to be hesitant to call it a combat mission. But as you mentioned, the first time something happens to one of these personnel, that narrative could change.
Now we know we had our 6th airdrop of food and medicine and ready-to-eat meals this morning. What are the plans, and how many casualties have there been with Christians up there on the mountain?
Not sure about the number of casualties because we haven't really been able to reach them, and certainly reporters have had a tough time reaching them. It's a dangerous situation. But yesterday, a helicopter delivering aid to these displaced Christians and other minorities crashed, actually, killing the pilot, injuring other passengers there. And so it happened after too many people tried to climb on board, people trying to get away. So there's definitely casualties in that situation.
That was a helicopter from the Iraqi military or the Kurdish military, yeah. Killed a general and injured quite a few people. In fact, a colleague of yours, a gentleman for CNN the day before, had been on that exact same helicopter on that exact same flight. So a lot of danger in delivering even the humanitarian aid, not talking about trying to take out ISIS. Rachel Sutherland is here. Let's talk about the political implications of Hillary Clinton, what appears to be her beginning to run away from the president and his policy, if not in Iraq, certainly previously in Syria, gave the interview. She's had to walk that back, play a phone call, and today, what do we have, a hug-a-thon or something going on, Martha's Vineyard?
It'll be the hug felt around the world, I guess. Yeah, there's supposed to be a party up at Martha's Vineyard, and Hillary Clinton is scheduled to be there, as President Obama is too. And you should just imagine over the shrimp and hors d'oeuvres, they're supposed to have a hug-a-thon, she says, or she's going to try to make it right with a hug, I should say. And, there's some tension there. She's been trying to get some daylight between herself and the Obama administration since she's left as Secretary of State. This is the biggest stance she's taken in saying that President Obama's foreign policy is not worthy of great nations. But we're hearing that the president, his advisor, saying he's taken this in stride. Certainly, he's not going to say he took it personally. It'll be interesting to see what happens with this hug, whether or not they get a picture of it, the press that are there, or not.
Oh, I'm sure that they will. And they should get it out of the way right away. As soon as the party starts and they see each other across the room, they should just hug it out, take the photo, and I'd love to be a fly on the wall at that party.
Oh, that would be definitely interesting and good stuff to see. We'll be watching.
The president's not that gracious, though. We can speak openly here. He does harbor a lot of resentment towards Hillary Clinton and probably more towards Bill from many years ago. And I think it's not going to be nearly as pleasant as they're portraying it.
Well, look, I mean, of course, they duked it out for the presidential nomination. So it's been kind of unusual, tense relationship, but they always seem to come back around. After, of course, he won and she didn't. He picks her to be Secretary of State. She goes ahead and serves. So that relationship is, we'll just call it complicated.
Yeah, and this morning her publicist saying, she was proud to serve with President Obama, and she's proud to be his partner in the project of restoring America.
Well, yeah, and she would. I mean, after saying what she did to the Atlantic, although even in that interview she did give praise to President Obama. Of course, that didn't get a lot of the press, but as she looks toward 2016 and hopefully being on that Democratic ticket for president, she's got to walk a fine line between being in line with Democrats and the president, I should say, President Obama, and getting a little bit of room there too, a little breathing room, because not everybody's on board. Some people have been disappointed in President Obama, so she's going to have to appeal to those as well.
She's doing to Obama what Gore did to her husband.
Yeah, kind of. Exactly. And it's just the way it's done. They're playing politics and so on. But so we'll see how quickly they hug, what this hugging it out really entails. It's going to be awkward for sure.
And Dick Cheney never ran from George W. Bush. Well, there was a Scooter Libby thing, but other than that, he was quite loyal.
I haven't seen him hugging too many people either, though.
Of course, he wasn't running for anything except for maybe a new heart.
Yeah, exactly. And he got that.
Yeah, I got that. Rachel, thank you for your time. Much appreciated. Rachel Sutherland reporting for Fox on our turnkey.pro answer line. The other situation we're watching, 6 o'clock our time, I believe the latest ceasefire expires between the Israelis, their defense forces, and Hamas there in Gaza. 6 o'clock, whether Hamas will wait until 6 to fire missiles, whether they extend that, I guess that all remains to be seen. You can bet you'll hear it first here on AM 560, not only throughout the day with our hosts and also Fox News, but with Joe Walsh's show at 5 o'clock this afternoon. He'll be watching that specifically as it's scheduled to expire at 6 o'clock our time. We have to talk more about that. This whole problem began last month when Hamas started firing missiles into Israel by the hundreds, thousands actually. People of Israel no longer safe in their streets. Sirens and alerts ruled their lives. Safety of Israel's women and children in peril. So was Israel's existence. They did what they thought they had to do to protect the citizens. Israel launched an offensive in Gaza, destroyed the weapons that were terrorizing innocent Israeli citizens, then punishing the terrorists who were using them. And sadly, yes, innocent women and children were lost in Gaza. But those losses were not an accident. They were part of a deliberate plan by Hamas to cause the death of its own women and children, and then blame Israel for propaganda purposes. Hamas used women and children as human shields to protect their arsenals. It's been documented. They deliberately placed women and children in harm's way to make Israel look bad in the world's eye. Israel tried its best to limit the loss of life and warned the citizens with leaflets, announcements, roof bangs, if you will. But Hamas leaders urged their citizens to ignore those warnings and stay in harm's way. Thus, the high number of civilian casualties in Gaza. It's all part of Hamas's plan, not the Israelis. It is, to say the least, a grotesque and diabolical strategy using women and children as human shields. To send a powerful message to the world that America stands with Israel in the battle for her survival, we ask you to go to stophamasnow.com. Do it this morning. Let our leaders know that Hamas must be disarmed now, and disarmed forever. Because this battle isn't just Israel's, it's ours too. And the civilized world's battle. And this fight isn't just Israel against Hamas, it's good versus evil. We urge you to stand with Israel, stand up for her values and her right to exist and protect her values and her people. Go to stophamasnow.com. While you're at it, please send the stophamasnow.com link to 10 friends. stophamasnow.com. This message paid for by stophamasnow.com.
Follow John and Amy on Twitter. Visit BigJohnandAmy.com and click on Follow Us.
All right, at 8:47, Amy, can we impose upon you for the forecast?
I'd love to deliver the great news. Mostly sunny today, a lot warmer than yesterday. Thank goodness, a high of 81 degrees. If you're along the lakefront at 2 p.m., look up in the sky. The Blue Angels will be practicing for this weekend's Air and Water Show. And I love the practice more than the show because a lot of less people to deal with. So that's at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Then tomorrow, sunny to partly cloudy, pleasant, a high of 77.
Now, do they use prop planes for their practice or the actual jets?
They use the actual jets, John.
Oh,
it's very loud, so watch your dogs.
Practicing this year in gliders because of the budget.
No.
Traffic, here's Jim.
Looking ahead, John and Amy. Amy, you're right. There will be a lot of traffic issues this weekend with the Air and Water Show, but not so much today with the practice, we don't think. Kennedy right now, not too bad. 36 minutes either way between O'Hare and downtown. The Ike improving a little bit. 49 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Stevenson still heavy. 54 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. The tollways are improving, but still have some delays. I'm Jim Talamonte, ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
Looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing mortgage? Then you should call David Hochberg, president of Townstone Financial. Tim's mother, she's 94 years young. She owns a $400,000 home, free and clear. Tim called for information about a reverse mortgage to help him finance his mother's monthly health care needs. Now, before calling David, Tim called different reverse mortgage lenders, including the companies you see on TV. Tim chose David because he's heard a number of actual borrowers he's helped secure reverse mortgages, talk about how the reverse mortgage changed their lives on his show. So Tim felt that talking to David was the best person to deal with in the business, and he is. If you want to work with an honest, trustworthy lender, then call David Hochberg right now, 312-896-2111. That's 312-896-2111. David has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners and our friends, and he can help you too. Tune into the Townstone Financial Show Saturdays from 1 to 3 p.m. Townstone Financial is an Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois mortgage licensee, 6629 NMLS 136639.
All of a sudden, bam! Your AC isn't working. You want it fixed, and you want it fixed fast. Call the team at AirServe.
This is Dan of AirServe. Our guys are ready right now to get your AC working, and I mean now. We understand that you need it done right and quickly. That's why we offer same-day service, or the service call is free. Go to samedayorfree.com, call us, and let's get your AC fixed. You have choices. AirServe is a good choice. We charge by the job, not the hour, no surprises, 24/7, and no overtime charges. Call us anytime. Our priority is repair, and we repair them all. We're not there to talk you into a new system. We only recommend that if you absolutely need it. AirServe, let's get the cool back on. Go to samedayorfree.com to get the number, or get it on your phone right now. Text AC to 64636, AC to 64636. AirServe. It's all about being cool.
Dr. David Kolbaba.
Many women are, they're diagnosed with cancer after a mammogram, and even after biopsies are being told that they have cancer, when in reality, they do not have breast cancer.
Chicago's longest running health news and science show.
Many of these women, some 10,000 of them, get lumpectomies, mastectomies, and the chemotherapy and the radiation. So the tragedy behind what you've been told by science, you've been told by your well-meaning doctor that you may have cancer when you don't.
It's Health Quest Radio with your host, Dr. David Kolbaba.
I think what science does is what most of us doctors do to most of our patients. We dumb you down a bit so that you can't navigate through the medical maze, when really we don't know as much as you think we do. Find your way out of that medical maze with me, Dr. David Kolbaba, this Health Quest Saturday morning at 11.
AM 560, The Answer.
Take me out to the ball game.
Spend most of the morning talking about serious situations and strife and all kinds of issues, not only here but around the world. It can be kind of cumbersome or cumulative. It can be like a dark cloud. And here's our warm and fuzzy for the day. It's been a while since one of our Little League teams has played in the Little League World Series. Good for these guys. How can we help?
Yeah, well, not since 1983 has an all-African-American Little League baseball team made it to the Little League World Series. I don't know if you remember, in 1986, Norwich made it to the Little League World Series.
I'm pretty sure that was not an all-African-American team.
No. South
Knowing
Holland.
what I know about Norwich.
South Holland in 1992 and Lamont in 2006. But the reason why this team, the Jackie Robinson West Little League team, is making so much news is because Mary Mitchell wrote an article yesterday in the Sun-Times saying that some of the parents don't have enough money to travel to Williamsport, Pennsylvania. One man in particular, his name is, stand by, Mr. Buford. Robert Buford. He's the father of Cameron Buford, and his son hit the fifth inning grand slam to win their last game. But he's always been at the practices and at the games because he can go because he's unemployed right now. but he doesn't have enough money to make it to Williamsport, Pennsylvania. So the news spread like wildfire. And it was really sweet to see Dick's Sporting Goods. They decided to have a T-shirt sale, and the proceeds go to the team. But MLB, Major League Baseball players, stepped up to the plate and donated money. All they need is $20,000 to help the families get to Pennsylvania. LaTroy Hawkins, I don't know if you remember him. He's a relief pitcher for the Rockies, but he played for the Cubs from 2004 to 2005. He's helping out. Torrey Hunter, a right fielder for the Detroit Tigers, and two brothers, B.J. Upton and Justin Upton, with the Atlanta Braves. They all donated collectively $20,000 to help the families.
They each could have taken $20K out of their wallets. I mean, a small change to those guys.
I know. And then people from the community, people from Chicago, the Community Currency Exchange Association of Illinois donated $2,500. And then people in the private sector said, you know what? We have to get these people to the game because it is so important as a kid to look up in the stands and see your parents there cheering you on. So the game is Thursday at 2 o'clock our time, and there's a viewing party, John, if you want to go at their field, which is at 10700, 107th and South Aberdeen. And that's where people are going to gather to have a viewing party. But I think it's beautiful that people came together to make sure that the team's parents were able to watch them play in this game.
I love watching baseball. I love it on all levels, but I do like the World Series, the Little League World Series.
Oh, yeah, it's the best.
Except, when the kids lose, I hate to see them cry because there's no crying in baseball.
Oh, stop it. That's what life's all about. And also gaining attention at the Little League World Series, John, is a woman named Moni Davis. Well, not a woman yet, but she's the pitcher for the Tanny Little League baseball team. They're out of Philadelphia. First female pitcher, she throws a hot one. In her last game, not one baseball player was able to score a run while she was pitching. She pitches the ball 72 miles an hour.
I tried to hit and foul one off Jenny, softball player, pro. Gosh, what's her name? She was in town years ago.
Jenny Finch.
Yes,
the
Jenny
very
Finch.
good-looking.
Oh yeah. And I tried. I couldn't lay the wood on the ball. She threw so hard.
Really?
Yeah, couldn't even touch it. And then I had to catch for her too the next inning.
Oh no.
That was quite an experience.
How many did you drop at the plate?
All of them. She knocked me down several times too. Good for this team. Good luck on Thursday. We'll be watching.
Take John and Amy with you wherever you go. Visit 560theanswer.com and download the AM 560 mobile app to listen live on your mobile device. Then listen to AM 560 The Answer on the go, including podcasts of John and Amy. It's the AM 560 mobile app, now available at 560theanswer.com.
To every car owner who's ever said,
please, no more car payments for a while.
We're here to help.
If you'd like to spend your money on things other than car payments,
we definitely can help.
We're the people at Merlin 200,000 Mile Shops.
Let us introduce you to the Drive for 200,000 Miles.
The Drive is our longer car life program that prevents problems before they cause a breakdown.
Simply put, the Drive for 200,000 can keep your present car running like new.
Without the new car payments.
The average new car payment these days is around $477 a month.
But the average cost to keep your present car running great can be less than $47 a month.
So all of us at Merlin 200,000 Mile Shops recommend the car payment alternative.
It's called Merlin's Drive for 200,000.
Merlin. More life for you and your car.
Get a free back-to-school inspection at Merlin. Go to merlins.com and click on the gold coin to get your coupon for a free back-to-school inspection. Schedule an appointment and find other great values at merlins.com.
MyPillow, it's my best friend. I cannot live without a pillow from MyPillow. And in case you haven't ordered your pillow yet, which we've been telling you to do, I have a great offer for you. Go to mypillow.com, type John and Amy in the promo code, and you'll get 2 classic pillows for the price of 1. Plus, you can receive 25% off any additional purchase. Why do I like the pillow from MyPillow? Because I can throw it in the washer and dryer when it gets messy. And it helps me sleep. It helps with my chronic neck and back pain. If you have insomnia, allergies, this is the pillow for you. It conforms to your neck and back. It's priceless. Go to mypillow.com. John and Amy in the promo code. 2 classic pillows for the price of 1. Plus, if you already own a MyPillow, consider purchasing a pillow topper or one of the astounding 9 new products, all at 25% off. Visit mypillow.com or call 800-299-8000 8288.
The number one fear among retirees today is running out of money in retirement, and with good reason. The last thing you want to be is 75 years old, full of life, and flat broke. So how do you safely generate more income in retirement without risking everything in the stock market? The answers are in a free educational retirement workshop with Tom Fortino, featured expert on Fox Business and host of the Alpha Wealth Hour on AM 560 The Answer. Discover successful strategies other people are using today to supercharge their income in retirement. Learn the 7 most common mistakes retirees make that could decimate your retirement savings. Plus, some little-known strategies on how to minimize your taxes and pass along more of your wealth to the people you love.
Seats are still available for this free retirement workshop on Saturday, August 23rd. To reserve your seat, call 630-873-6326. 630-873-6326. That's 630-873-6326.
This message is for home intruders, the cowards who break into people's homes to steal their hard-earned property, criminals who shatter lives and rob people of their privacy and security. Listen very carefully. We're the security experts at Protect Your Home, and we're taking you down. Because we're giving away a state-of-the-art ADT-monitored home security system, absolutely free to any listener who calls 1-800-900-1146. It's time for you to be afraid, because every person who calls will be protected against cowards like you. To the criminals listening, we're taking you down. To those who want help protecting their homes, call now to get your free ADT-monitored home security system. There's no better way to help protect your home and family. Call in the next 5 minutes, and we'll even give you 4 additional sensors absolutely free. Only if you call Protect Your Home, your ADT-authorized premier provider, at 1-800-900-1146. That's 1-800-900-1146.
License numbers and terms available at protectyourhome.com. $99 installation charge, 36-month monitoring contract required.
John and Amy coming up next. We'll visit with Byron York, get his take on the hug fest that's happening today between the Clintons and the Obamas. Ooh, it's going to be tense.
Then at 9:39, Fox News legal analyst Lise Wheel will be here to tell us about James Brady death being ruled a homicide and what it means for John Hinckley.
Time now for an update. And for Mike, here's Tom Beck.
John, Amy, thanks. The daughter of a Chicago woman who was found apparently murdered in the resort island of Bali has been arrested. ACLU says Illinois police have not reduced racial profiling by much over the past 10 years. This is WIND Chicago. Time now for an update from Fox.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. Is a mass rescue possible on a mountain in Iraq? That question, part of the newest U.S. deployment of military advisors. Fox News Radio's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Lisa, Sunni militants have thousands of religious minorities trapped on a mountain in northern Iraq, and they're threatening to kill them if they don't convert. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel says the Pentagon has sent an additional 130 military personnel to Iraq. They're now on the ground near Erbil, and their mission is to help plan how to rescue the minorities from
some of the most brutal, barbaric forces we've ever seen in the world today.
Secretary Hagel stressed this is not a combat boots-on-the-ground operation. Lisa?
Rachel, France is now sending arms to the Kurdish forces fighting those ISIS militants. On the home front, flooding.
I saw the fire engines. They couldn't get to us because the water was moving so quickly.
At least a half dozen rescues from stranded cars in Tucson and Phoenix. Meantime, a storm that flooded the Detroit area has moved east.
Baltimore yesterday saw the most rain in one day since 1933. This woman saw it at home.
It was like Niagara Falls in the backyard.
Heavy rainfall soaked southern New Jersey overnight and then swept into the New York City area. Fire crews in boats rescued some stranded drivers on Long Island highways this morning. There's flooding in Connecticut, too, and severe weather warnings and watches are posted for Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Maine.
Fox Radio's Steve Taylor. Late word of a train derailment in the Swiss Alps after heavy rain triggered a landslide and air rescue operation underway. A second legend mourned in Hollywood.
You always think you can handle people like trained seals.
Uh-huh. I usually get away with it, too.
How nice for you.
Lauren Bacall was 89. She died in New York after a stroke. You're listening to Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
Good morning. Mostly sunny, 70 degrees in Chicago at 9:02 on AM 560. The Answer. I'm Tom Beck in for Mike Scott. A Chicago woman has been found apparently murdered in the resort island of Bali, and her daughter is among those arrested. Fox News Radio's Leslie Eamons reports.
The body of Sheila von Wiesmack was found stuffed into a suitcase in the boot of a taxi in front of the 5-star St Regis Hotel in the exclusive Nusa Dua resort area of Bali. The 62-year-old had been staying in the hotel with her 19-year-old daughter and her 21-year-old boyfriend, who she was seen arguing with on the night before her body was found. Local police arrested the pair at another hotel after they'd checked out of the St Regis and left their bags in the cab. Leslie Yeomans, Fox News Radio.
American Civil Liberties Union has released a report which says police across Illinois have made little progress in reducing racial profiling. Chicago Tribune reports the 10-year-long study shows police search the cars of black and Latino drivers far more often than those of whites. At the same time, officers find drugs and other contraband more frequently in vehicles driven by whites. In Wisconsin, it'll be former truck bicycle executive Mary Burke versus incumbent Governor Scott Walker come November. Burke easily won yesterday's Democratic primary. Walker was unopposed. New allegations from Illinois Republicans regarding Governor Quinn and state funding. They say he apparently hid $20 million in the Department of Labor budget this year, then split it up and handed out more than half of it in the first 3 weeks of July. Republicans say the money is being diverted to other agencies, then doled out under the premise of helping at-risk communities. The allegations are similar to those surrounding a $55 million anti-violence program that Quinn started just before the 2010 election. That program is now under state and federal investigation. Bad accident we told you about yesterday turned fatal. A University Park mother of 5 died after the crash of a van and a car. State police say the 43-year-old was thrown from the van when it struck a car on I-57 in Madison early yesterday morning. Her 5 children were hurt in the crash as well. A Chicago business owner who was shot in his Loop office 2 weeks ago is improving. 54-year-old Steve Lavoie has been upgraded from critical to serious condition. Lavoie, who owns the tech firm Aerostream, was shot July 31st by a recently demoted employee who then killed himself. News, the service of America's best contacts and eyeglasses. Check out the designer sale. 2 pairs of single-vision eyeglasses for $69.95, including a free eye exam. Choose from designer frames like Sofia Vergara and Project Runway at America's Best. Limited time offer. Call 1-800-TWO-PAIR to schedule an appointment today. News time is 9:04. Where are the cars this morning? We'll have the answer coming up on AM 560. The Answer.
Michael Medved has a solution to ease illegal immigration.
I think the legal immigration system should be cleaned up. It should be improved. It should be streamlined. It should be easier. One of the ways to reduce illegal immigration is to increase legal immigration. You'll greatly increase illegal immigration if you reward people who ignore the current rules. That is a very real problem.
The Michael Medved Show. Weeknights at 8, right after Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
If you still not refinance your mortgage, well, soon you may be kicking yourself in the head. Hi, I'm Wesley Hogan with Westland Financial, and interest rates have gone up recently and will continue to rise, but they're still at historical lows. So don't delay. Let us lower your monthly payment, consolidate a first and second, pay off other debt, or drop you into a 15-year loan with no closing costs. That's right. Nothing's rolled into your loan. We'll pay for your appraisal, title, underwriting, settlement fee, everything. Do not miss out on this historic opportunity. Whether it's a purchase or refinance, you'll pay no closing costs. You won't spend a dime. Think about it. All it takes is a 5-minute phone call to find out how we can save you hundreds or even thousands of dollars a year. And by the way, Westland Financial now is proud to offer reverse mortgages for our clients over 62.
Call Westland Financial today at 1-800-809-7882. That's 1-800-809-7882. 1-800-809-7882. 1-800-809-7882. And MLS number 3304. Not all loans apply. Equal housing lender.
From the Alarm Detection Systems studio, you're listening to AM 560, The Answer.
At 9:06 at our ChicagoRadioDeals.com traffic center, here's Jim.
Thanks, Tom. The Edens has outbound delays Wilson to Dempster, 28 minutes. Montrose to Lake Cook. Inbound, it's now fine at 19 minutes. Inbound Kennedy, 41 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. The Ohio feeder's jammed. Outbound is 25 minutes downtown to the airport. Inbound Eisenhower, 47 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, 28 from Manheim. Outbound 36 to Thorndale. Stevenson, 54 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 48, it's jammed from the Ryan to Cicero. Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State slow from the Stevenson to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Reagan Tollway still heavy Farnsworth to Eola. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, your official Chicagoland weather forecast, a service of Morrison Security at morrisonsecurity.com. Here's meteorologist Steve Williams.
Sunny to partly cloudy and warmer today with a high of 81. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy. It'll be a beautiful evening, low 58. Sunny to partly cloudy and pleasant tomorrow. High 72 at the coast, 77 in the city. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Right now, mostly sunny, 70 degrees at O'Hare, 71 Midway, 70 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update at 9:30. Continuous coverage of the latest news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. John Howell and Amy Jacobson continue now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
The following show is almost a complete accident. The hosts were thrown together after each of their careers took a strange turn. He was a country jock, sick of spinning records. She was a TV reporter who chased the wrong story. Till one day they bumped into each other on opposite sides of a microphone. It was magic. You are about to hear it. This is Big John Howell and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
It's always great to visit with Byron York, who writes for the Washington Examiner. You can see him on TV quite often, up and down the dial. And we welcome Byron back to the John and Amy Gab Fest on our Turnkey.Pro answer line. Good morning, Byron. How are you, sir?
Good morning. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
We are waiting for the fallout from, or the details from, Hug Fest, which happens today on Martha's Vineyard between Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. It appears, based on her interview with Atlantic, that she's trying to do to Barack Obama what Al Gore did to her husband.
And, it works so well for Al Gore. This is interesting. I think this whole Hugfest thing is just going to extend the story at least another day and probably another day after that. And, it seems to me that Hillary Clinton is in a very tough position. By doing what she did in this interview, trying to distance herself, saying the president failed to intervene in Syria in a way that might have been effective. First of all, it shows her having a different opinion, but going along with the team, because that's what the president did, and she was just the Secretary of State. So that doesn't seem all that leaderly, It doesn't seem like she was really leading on that. Second of all, it makes her appear disloyal. I think a lot of people don't really like that. And the third thing is it's going to alienate a lot of Obama's people who are, by the way, still in office for the next 2 years and whom Hillary Clinton will need to help her get elected, and if she is elected, to run her administration. So it seems to me to be a real shoot-yourself-in-the-foot moment for her.
And her comments didn't seem to sit well with, close allies of Mr. Obama, such as David Axelrod, who took to Twitter on Tuesday. I don't know if you saw it, but he said, just to clarify, don't do stupid stuff means stuff like occupying Iraq in the first place, which was a tragically bad decision. What do you make of it?
Well, that's a pretty clear slam at the woman who voted to use force, authorize using force in Iraq, Hillary Clinton. Look, that was a huge issue in their epic 2008 Democratic primary battle. The president was lucky in that one. He had not been in the Senate in 2003 when the authorization vote took place. Or maybe it was 2002, can't remember. But he wasn't there, so he could oppose the war, and he didn't have a record to have to explain. But Hillary Clinton had voted. She had given speeches about Saddam Hussein's weapons of mass destruction. She had voted to authorize that war. So now this fight inside the Democratic Party is popping back up again.
But do you think it'll stop with this epic hug that's supposed to take place this evening?
Well, no, I don't think so. I think she's still got this issue of if she does run, of defining herself as different from Obama and staking out her own space. So I think this is going to actually be repeated, maybe not just in foreign policy, probably not just in foreign policy, because voters care more about domestic policy. I think we're going to see maybe smaller and sometimes larger versions of this happening periodically over the next year or two.
Byron York with us here this morning. By the way, is a book that I recommend. He's written many, but The Vast Left-Wing Conspiracy is a great book by Byron York. Hillary, in a larger sense, or a larger discussion, umbrella discussion here, I'm not so sure that she's electable. She still comes with a tremendous amount of baggage, all the way back to Arkansas, all the way through her husband's 2 terms there, and even her, much vaunted time as Secretary of State. Basically, she just rode the plane more than anybody else. And yet she's ahead by, 50 points or something, one-on-one towards Biden. I still expect some younger candidate from the left to make a run at her, and I think it starts sooner rather than later. Your thoughts?
Maybe even an older candidate on the left. We've been hearing Bernie Sanders, the senator, very lefty senator from Vermont, talking about running. But you're absolutely right. I think as we get closer to the time in which a presidential race should be happening, I think more and more Democrats are going to say, well, shouldn't we have a campaign instead of coronation? And I still think, personally, that Elizabeth Warren has left the door cracked open to do this. We know that Martin O'Malley is going to Iowa. We know that Amy Klobuchar is trying to go there, maybe campaigning for vice president, for all I know. But we know some Democrats have made tentative moves toward this, and we don't quite know what Vice President Biden is thinking about on this. But I do think you're going to get this feeling inside the Democratic Party saying, shouldn't we have a campaign?
Mm-hmm. Well, is it true or not that Elizabeth Warren met secretly with Valerie Jarrett at the White House?
That I can't. I can't confirm that, but it's clear that she's doing everything to kind of get ready to run for president. We now know, for example, that she has policy dinners with various experts to help her learn about policy issues that maybe she's not up to speed on. She's had one about foreign policy, which is a classic thing that a senator would do as he or she gets ready to run for president. And she keeps using this present tense thing where she says, I am not running for president. And people will say, well, look, won't you please just say, I will not run for president. And she won't say it. She just repeats, I am not running for president, which leads everybody to be a little suspicious that she's playing some sort of word games and that she's still really thinking about it. And I'm one of those people who thinks that.
Senator Warren, of course, she will be able to take, Hillary won't, of course, she'll be able to take the large Native American vote.
There you go. It will be very big for her. I mean, the interesting thing is that Elizabeth Warren is almost Hillary Clinton's age. She would be 67 on Inauguration Day of 2017. Hillary Clinton would be 69. But Hillary Clinton has been in the national spotlight. It would be 24 years in 2016, ever since 1992 when she became First Lady. And Elizabeth Warren is a fresh new face, and people like that. And I think they're going to want to see that. And one of Hillary Clinton's biggest obstacles will be this fact that people have known her for so long, and they have to contemplate the idea of actually making her president and living with her for at least 4 more years and perhaps 8.
I think a charismatic guy of the left who has increased his resume, now a senator, is Booker. I think he makes a run, too.
Now, that's an interesting thought. Cory Booker is a really interesting case in which he just kind of waltzed into this Senate seat in New Jersey. He actually has a campaign going now because he was only elected for duration of a term before. But I think that he's basically an unvetted figure, and so it would be an extremely interesting thing if Cory Booker ran for president.
Talking here with Byron York in our remaining moments, want to just pick your brain here a little bit about November and the Republicans' chances for the Senate. You have Arkansas, Louisiana, Alaska, Iowa, Colorado, all kind of in play. And North Carolina is a really hugely important Senate race. And Tom Tillis thought for sure he was going to be campaigning early, and yet they kept him in session as the speaker. I think this is kind of the Democrats doing this to try to dilute him a little bit in his effectiveness, but he seems to have shaken it off, and he's starting this week.
Yeah, it's funny. The Democrats' strategy in North Carolina, Tom Tillis, the Republican, is the Speaker of the House there. The Democrats' strategy was just to kind of obstruct and keep the House in session so that Tillis had to be at the Capitol in Raleigh, and he couldn't be out campaigning. And also, there's this big fight. It was over education spending, and they claimed, and it was not correct, they claimed that Tillis was cutting education spending. So they were trying to bring, and they succeeded to some extent, in bringing down the approval rating, not just of the state legislature, which is very low, but Tillis as well, because he's kind of the face of it. But now we're back into a real campaign. He seems to be popping back a little bit in the polls, maybe still a point or two behind, because he is challenging an incumbent Democratic Senator Kay Hagan. But, you know, she doesn't have what, say, Mary Landrieu has in Louisiana or Mark Pryor has in Arkansas, which is a big political name that people have been familiar with for years in those states. Hagan is a first-term senator. She was a state legislator herself before she was elected, has not amassed an impressive record of doing much of anything. And, of course, like every other Democrat who was in office in 2010, she was the 60th and deciding vote for Obamacare.
They all were. They all were.
There you go.
Byron York, a final question from us. Want to put you on the spot. Republicans take the Senate this November?
Well, I think they have a really good chance to do it because they need 6, and they start out in good shape with 3, with Montana and South Dakota and wait a minute, I should have this totally memorized, but they got 3 pretty much in the bag, and then they have to get 3 more out of North Carolina, Louisiana, Arkansas, Iowa, Colorado, Alaska, and I think the chances of getting 3 of those are pretty good.
Byron, thank you for your time. As always, it's great having you on the program.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
Byron York writes for the Washington Examiner, and he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line. You can bet if you follow him on Twitter or check him out later today, he'll have his version of the events at Hugfest on Martha's Vineyard.
Whose party are they going to anyway?
I don't know.
I should text my cousin and find out.
Cousin lives there?
Oh, yeah. I've been there twice to visit her, and she always has an outfit for me to wear. An extra jacket, just in case the shoulders are showing. They're very conservative. Some are, at least, over there in Martha's Vineyard.
If you show too much shoulder, they want you to cover up there?
Yeah, she had a jacket for me. Yep. That's all right.
Kennedy used to walk around there naked, my understanding. I guess it's different, a different scale. If you're a senator, you can just walk around with your pants off.
You know, in fact, you can do whatever you want.
I've never been to Martha's Vineyard.
Oh, you'd love it there.
Did know a girl from Nantucket once. So we'll see what happens today with the hug fest between 44 and the former Secretary of State.
Hillary Clinton in the news. Have you heard about this? Hillary Clinton and President Obama have been publicly feuding about foreign policy. But Hillary says that they're going to see each other at a party tomorrow, and they plan on hugging it out. Yeah, when Bill Clinton heard this, he said, oh, so it's a kind of party, huh? All right, yeah.
This is your world. News, opinion, insight.
I think we need to get to the bottom of it.
AM 560, The Answer.
Sometimes tradition, people like to hang on traditions. You know, hey, we've always done it this way. It's always been the name. The flag's always been that way. Well, sometimes tradition is truly offensive, and you have to make a change. Details on that coming up following your forecast.
Well, just a picture-perfect day. Plenty of sunshine, warmer, a high of 81 degrees. Then tomorrow, sunny to partly cloudy, pleasant, a high of 77.
And then just after 9:39, Lise Wheel will be here. Former Press Secretary James Brady, who was horrifically injured in the Reagan assassination attempt. He finally passed away, been ruled a homicide. Does that put Hinckley at risk? We'll begin there with Lise Wheel coming up. Traffic, here's Jim.
John, is still slow on the eastbound Reagan Tollway from Farnsworth to 59. The inbound Kennedy with delays starting before Montrose. It's 40 minutes, so O'Hare to downtown. The Ike 47 minutes, Thorndale to the post office. Stevenson still with delays in both directions. Inbound First Avenue to Kedzie and outbound jammed from the Ryan to Cicero. I'm Jim Talamonte at the ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
Thank you, Jim. If you don't know Social Security inside and out, how can you be sure that you're actually getting all the money you deserve? Social Security is a topic on many people's minds, but how well do you understand it? Do you know what your full retirement age is? Are you familiar with strategies like file and suspend? That's where Wealth Enhancer Group comes in. If you're getting ready to claim Social Security, our friends and broadcast partners at Wealth Enhancement Group have a brand new guidebook for you. 4 vital strategies to keep every single Social Security dollar you deserve. At Wealth Enhancement Group, they operate under a very high standard. They are an independent, privately held firm. They'll give you unbiased advice because they do not sell proprietary investment products. They recommend what's right for you, not necessarily what's right just for them. To receive this guide, 888-229-7270. That's the number. Guide is absolutely free. No credit cards, no shipping, no handling, no obligations. That number again, 1-888-229-7270. 888-229-7270. 4 vital strategies to keep every Social Security dollar you deserve. 888-229-7270. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC.
Come on, Jake. Move it or lose it. Jeez, I haven't had this much exercise since Little League. There are donuts at the top if we ever get there. I just don't know how. Our elevators can be down again. I feel so sorry for those people who aren't so mobile.
Amateur companies have no business maintaining your elevators. At Urban Elevator, monthly tests, making repairs, and just doing the right thing are a few attributes that keep your operation moving. The big boys, they charge too much. The little guys, good luck with that. Urban Elevator will assign a manager specifically to your account and personally oversee the fixing and maintaining of your elevators, even without a contract if you prefer. You'll be safe, up to code, and relieved. Call 708-656-5512. That's 708-656-5512.
Wouldn't it figure that we work on floor 12? That's how many times I'm going to curse by the time we make it back to the office.
Urban Elevator, an uplifting experience since 1985. UrbanElevator.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Okay, what's in a name? Well, sometimes tradition is truly offensive. Now, it's been 70 years since the liberation of France from the Nazis. But recently, somebody noticed that there's a little village outside of Paris, and contained, I guess, in that village, a little part of the village, little hamlet, if you will. And somebody noticed they did an English translation of the French name, and they thought, hold on a second. Courtemaux, I believe, is the village itself, okay?
Courtemaux?
Courtemaux, I'm guessing my French even weaker than my English. About 300 people. And they oversee the contested hamlet, which is adjacent. And that's a tiny, tiny place. A couple dozen people live there, and they have a pond. Pool, pond. So 70 years since the liberation of France, and finally, the Simon Wiesenthal Center noticed, their director did, and wrote a letter about this, that the name of the hamlet, when translated into English, actually says, "Death to Jews." So they are now petitioning the French officials there, that the municipality, to please change the name. Now, some people there, some of the residents say, this is ridiculous. The name has always existed far before the Nazis ever came to power. No one has anything against the Jews. I'm reading here from their statement. Nobody has anything against the Jews, of course. Sure. It doesn't surprise me, however, that this is coming up again. Why change a name that goes back to the Middle Ages or even further? We have to respect these old names, close quote. And that's from the spokesperson of the group that would like to keep the name of the hamlet the same. I think it's L'Amour aux Juifs. And I'm butchering French, but that is the name of the hamlet, and that apparently translates into Death to Jews. Okay, so the municipal council actually went into their records and found out that about 20 years ago, somebody did petition to change the name of that hamlet.
Oh, really?
It's only 2 houses and a farm and 1 pond. And that request was denied because only one homeowner wanted it changed. The other said, heck with it, leave it. So 20 years ago, this was brought to their attention internally, but was left to remain the same. I think that's because nobody noticed. Well, now, worldwide, everybody's noticing. So I would imagine that when tradition truly is offensive, in the translation, I, being a guy that, goes along to get along once in a while, and realizing that death to Jews is quite offensive in any language, I would say it changed the name at this point.
I'd say the president of France should order the name changed.
He's busy with his girlfriend. So,
well, has the divorce been final? Oh, no, they weren't married.
By the way, just earlier this year, a Spanish town, and I won't attempt to...
No, I can do it. Give me the paper.
Do you want it?
Yeah, I want it. I can nail it, John.
Okay, excuse me, no offense. All right, here you go. It's the last line here.
All right. So this is what? The name of a Spanish town that was offensive?
This is the name of a Spanish town that was offensive. They did change their name. There you go, my bilingual friend.
Castrillo Matahud. Oh, we shouldn't say that on the...
No, that's what I was saying, but go ahead. It's your career. Have at it.
I will not be saying the
Just
name.
hand it back then.
Here you go. Thanks for playing.
That may be the first time in the, 6 years I've worked here that you've actually exercised discretion. Amazing.
It's been 4, not 6. Thank
Just
you.
seems like 14.
Did we get a prenup?
By the way, one more thing. That Hamlet has a soccer team.
Yeah. Oh, no.
And their name is the Redskins. And they're coming under withering attack regarding that as well.
You're always just minutes away from the latest up-to-date traffic info. It can only be AM 560. The Answer.
If you're at work, look up. See that? That's money being burned. That's right, every minute. Every day. The fact is, your business and your building is burning cash. Electricity is a huge expense, and lighting is a big part of that expense. Now you can get better lighting and save 40, 50% or more on your electricity. And there are rebate programs to help you pay for it. Or you can do nothing. And...
This is Tom McWilliams. My company is American Lighting Efficiency Corporation. We install high-efficiency lighting that saves you money every month by reducing your electric bill.
Call 630-778-0811. Stop burning cash. Get better lighting for your business or building and reduce your bill forever. Call 630-778-0811.
Chicago, wow. ChicagoRadioDeals.com wants you to take some time for yourself to relax, renew, and recharge. And here's a perfect way to lower your stress level and bring balance to your life. Make a visit to the Primal Ocean Salt Cave in LaGrange. Your stress begins to disappear when you step into the pink Himalayan salt cave or float on a bed of water that envelops you in color and warmth. Make time for deep relaxation in the aqua massage bed or feel renewed with the Ionic Detox Foot Bath. Experience it all now with 3 different packages, which include 1 salt cave session, plus either a aquasage or aquascape session or Ionic Detox Foot Bath. These stress relief packages, normally $70, only $40 at ChicagoRadioDeals.com. Primal Ocean Salt Cave Spa treatments are a great way to take a vacation from the everyday. By the way, John, you stay fully clothed and dry the entire time.
Well, that sounds like fun.
You'll love how calm and refreshed you'll feel. For more exclusive offers and healthy deals, just visit ChicagoRadioDeals.com.
You know you're happy with life when you literally enjoy everything around you. A good, positive environment, simple luxuries, and time with family and friends. It's time to keep that streak going at the TriStar Open House Block Party in Bourbonnais, Saturday, August 16th from 1 to 5 p.m. TriStar loves family and friends just as much as you do, and they want to thank current and new residents for being a part of their community. Food, raffles, and prizes for all ages will lead the way to a fantastic day, and you'll also have the chance to see what everyone in the TriStar family is happy about by touring their campus. A clubhouse, a pool, furnished models, and all the comforts of home in a budget-friendly manufactured home community that will keep you smiling and happy year-round. New homes beginning at $39,000 and used at $15,000. Join the TriStar Open House Block Party Saturday, August 16th from 1 to 5 p.m. at the corner of Route 45 and 5000 Road in Bourbonnais. Visit TriStarHomes.net today for more information. That's TriStarHomes.net.
AM 560, The Answer.
How is it 30 years later, if in fact 30 years ago he was found not guilty by reasons of insanity, how is it that John Hinckley Jr. now could be charged with Brady's murder in federal court after Mr. Brady, James Brady, passed away, and now that's been ruled a homicide? We'll begin there with Lise Wheel, who joins us at 9:39. Now at 9:31, let's get caught up. The absolute latest. Once again, here is Mike Scott. In for Mike Scott, here's Tom Beck. Tom.
John, Amy, thanks. Retail sales were essentially flat in July. More evidence that consumers still have doubts about the economy despite some recent job gains. In Sierra Leone, an official says another of the country's leading doctors has died from Ebola. The outbreak has killed more than 1,000 people in West Africa. France says it's sending arms to Kurdish forces in Iraq to help in the battle against radicals of the Islamic State group. Australia's Prime Minister says he may send combat forces to Iraq. The U.S. has sent another 130 troops to Iraq, calling them advisors. The body of a Chicago woman who may have been beaten to death was found stuffed inside a suitcase on the Indonesian resort island of Bali. The daughter of 62-year-old Sheila Von Wiesmack and her boyfriend have been arrested. Surveillance footage at a hotel showed the woman and daughter arguing. A Chicago judge says many drivers received tickets from those hated red light cameras who did not deserve them, and so he's tossed out a bunch of them. Judge Robert Sussman says some yellow traffic lights last less than the required 3 seconds, so he's tossed out some 70% of cases he's heard. Bad wreck on I-57 near Madison turned fatal. The victim, a mother of 5, a University Park woman, has died after the crash of a van and a car. For a second time in as many days, Hollywood lost a major star. Lauren Bacall passed away Tuesday. Her family says she suffered a stroke. Bacall's long career included several movies with her husband and fellow star Humphrey Bogart. Lauren Bacall was 89. Meanwhile, authorities say Robin Williams' cause of death is believed to be asphyxia due to hanging. No word yet if a suicide note was found. And animal rights groups say they plan to picket some Whole Foods Market stores in parts of the country this weekend over the sale of rabbit meat. The Texas-based store chain issued a statement saying it's simply responding to customer demand. AM 560 News Time is 9:33. How bad is traffic? We'll have the answer coming up on AM 560. The Answer.
Dennis Prager believes if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Most new ideas stink. New technology? Awesome. New discoveries in science? Awesome. New ideas about the human condition? Almost always stupid and destructive. Like bilingual education, which, as the great Barry Farber once said, makes you illiterate in 2 languages.
The Dennis Prager Show, weeknights at 11, right after Michael Medved at 8, on AM 560. The Answer.
At Galaxy, they'll create a kitchen or bath that you'll absolutely love. And right now, installation on your new kitchen or bath is free. Contact Galaxy 773-783-8300 or galaxyhome.com.
Sometimes you feel like this. Like you're digging a hole you just can't get out of. It can happen to anybody. You just never expected it to be you. And now you need a creative solution to get out of financial trouble. Not just a cookie-cutter solution, but a partner that is thinking outside the box. An attorney who can throw you a lifeline and pull you out of the consuming, dark hole that is your debt. John DeWatt of Thinking Outside the Box law firm knows you have a problem that needs relief. He will listen to you, walk you through the steps, and execute a plan that will lift you up, that will let you start over. Bankruptcy is a powerful tool in turning around your life. Bankruptcy can be a lifesaver for your family. Call John DeWatt of Thinking Outside the Box at 888-777-4193. That's 888-777-4193. Or visit thinkingoutsidetheboxlaw.com. That's thinkingoutsidetheboxlaw.com.
Did you know by age 50, half of all men have an enlarged prostate? This means more urges to urinate, longer bathroom trips, waking at night to urinate, or issues with intimacy. If this sounds familiar, call us now, because we're shipping free bottles of Super Beta Prostate to listeners of this station. Super Beta Prostate is a non-prescription formula guaranteed to reduce the symptoms of your enlarged prostate. It's yours free. Pay only shipping and handling. Just call 1-800-842-0748. In clinical trials, the ingredient in Super Beta Prostate was shown to reduce urges to urinate, improve bladder emptying, reduce waking at night to urinate, and improve quality of life. This Super Beta Prostate free offer is for listeners of this station, but it won't last. Don't wait. Just call 1-800-842-0748. That's 1-800-842-0748. Call 1-800-842-0748.
At 9:36 in our ChicagoRadioDeals.com traffic center, here's Jim.
Thanks, Tom. In Oakbrook Terrace, there's a crash on 83 at 22nd Street. The Eden still has an outbound delay. About 3 minutes worth, 2E to Winnetka Road. Inbound, it's fine. Inbound Kennedy, delay started Foster. 38 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. There's a stalled semi reported at Addison. The Ohio feeder still jammed. The outbound side, just a 3-minute delay, Nagel to Cumberland. Inbound Eisenhower, scattered delay start past North Avenue. 40 minutes, Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 32. Inbound Stevenson, 41 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 35. The Rhine is 21 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State heavy at 290. Eastbound Reagan Tollway heavy approaching 59. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
More John Howell and Amy Jacobson coming your way next. Now your official Chicagoland weather forecast. A service of Morrison Security at morrisonsecurity.com. Sunny to partly cloudy and warmer, a high 81. Thursday, sunny to partly cloudy, pleasant, high 77. Friday, partly sunny and nice, some rain at night, high of 82. Right now it's mostly sunny and 70 at O'Hare, 71 at Midway, 70 at Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update at 10 o'clock. Continuous coverage of the latest news, traffic and weather at 560theanswer.com. Now, more of John Howell and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Aging Info Radio. Heard Sunday mornings at 9 and presented by Emeritus Senior Living Communities.
Years and years and years ago, 30 years ago, there was an assassination attempt against Ronald Wilson Reagan. And a Secret Service agent was hit. He went on to a career here in Chicagoland as a police chief. And also, unfortunately, James Brady, at that time, Reagan's press secretary, was hit and very, very seriously wounded. Never really recovered from that. Lived for many years and just died recently. With that in mind, now, Mr. Hinckley, John Hinckley Jr., who recently, and I mean recently probably last year, was released from his incarceration at a mental hospital, suburban Washington, D.C., went home to spend time with his parents, and now is out and unsupervised. He has been considered cured of his mental illness. He, of course, was found not guilty by reason of insanity, however. And now we turn our attention to Lise Wheel. Fox News legal analyst. There are some who are saying that he could now be charged with Brady's murder in federal court. I wonder how likely a prosecution might be. Let's start there with Lise Wheel, who joins us on our Turnkey.Pro answer line. Lise, good morning. You're following us. What do you think?
I think there's a very good chance that he will be charged again because prosecutors, they don't like to lose cases. They don't like to lose high-profile cases like this. And the law on insanity changed dramatically after Hinckley. It was really one of these watershed cases where pre-Hinckley and then post-Hinckley, people were very upset that he got off on the insanity defense, and so they changed it, the legislative changed it, to now if the prosecution can just show, hey, he knew right from wrong. He may be crazy as a loon, but not legally insane if he knew right from wrong. It's a very different standard, much more difficult to get away with an insanity defense. The issue for the prosecution is really twofold. The first is the double jeopardy clause of the Constitution, which says that once you've been charged with a crime, you can't be retried on that same crime. You can't have a second bite of the apple prosecution. You can't appeal. But what the prosecution is going to say is that, no, it's not the same crime. We charged him with assault. Now we can charge him with homicide and try to get around double jeopardy that way. The second thing they're going to face is causation. Can they show, they being the prosecution, can they show through medical experts that it was indeed the bullet after 33 years that finished off the job? It wasn't, diabetes or heart attack or any kind of malady that a person at that age might have, but just that it was the bullet. It took a long time to kill him, but it was the bullet that killed him.
What about the statute of limitations? There are none
There is
for
no
murder?
statute of limitation on murder. So that won't be an issue. These other issues, though, are going to be, from my little wonky legal perspective, very interesting to see what happens here because it'll have huge ramifications for other cases. I mean, you get in a bar fight with somebody and they don't die for another 10 years, but they die from the injuries sustained during that bar fight. Now then you're not looking at assault, you're looking at homicide charges.
But did Hinckley and his defense lawyers, did they know about this possibility?
That's a good question. I don't know that they did. They've never spoken about it. Look, they did a good job for their client. They got him off on a not guilty by reason of insanity. But, they, of course, then they had to wait 33 years. I'm not even sure the same lawyers are, practicing anymore. But it's a possibility the prosecution can just say, we've got a second chance at this one.
Let me be very clear here. I am not standing up for nor advocating for presidential assassins, okay?
Right.
I don't like this. I don't like it for exactly the reason you gave us anecdotally about the bar fight.
Right.
I understand it's not double jeopardy by the letter of the law, but certainly I think it's breaking the spirit of the law.
Well, they may lose on that because double jeopardy, we take that very seriously as a country, and it's in our Constitution. You really can't be charged for the same thing, and it certainly it isn't the same charge, but it comes from the same set of facts. You see what I'm saying? It's not I robbed a grocery store and then I went next door and punched a kid, and now let's go back and charge for robbing a grocery store. Those would be two separate things, two separate incidents. This is one evolving out of one incident, one horrible one. So I think the double jeopardy issue argument is going to be a very difficult one for the prosecution to overcome. But that's certainly what they're going to argue, that this is different now. The facts have changed.
But couldn't they go back and say, setting aside James Brady for a moment, the fact that President Reagan descended into Alzheimer's and dementia, gosh, John Hinckley, we have to charge you for that crime as well.
They'd have to have a medical examiner that would have been able to say that, at the time.
The stress of the assassination.
Exactly. And that didn't happen, obviously. So this is something that's new and different, but it is, I think it is important to say that it goes well beyond this particular case. If they prevail, they being the prosecutors prevail in being able to bring these charges, then yes, I mean, any, street crime that turns into somebody, is far worse off than what you see at the beginning, that then can be charged. But, to argue the other side a little bit, if somebody shoots somebody and they end up in a coma and they're kept alive by the machine and then they finally die 10 years later, I don't have a problem with charging that person with murder, because the only reason they were kept alive was the machines, and when those were pulled or whatever, they died.
But the bottom line, he would still be alive had he not been shot in the head.
Well, we don't know that.
That's what they're going to. That's what they're going to have to argue. They're going to have to find medical folks to come on the stand and say, it was the bullet that finally killed him, not anything else. He still would be alive, but for the bullet.
Amy gave me a donut 4 years ago. If I die of complications of diabetes, I'm going to have somebody charge her.
I don't think it happens on one donut. I don't know. I could be wrong.
He ate the whole box.
It could have been that trigger donut.
I don't like it. Look, again, I'm not sticking up for John Hinckley.
Right.
I think you're massaging laws and creating new laws, just like this hearsay law in this state to get one guy. I just don't like the precedent that it sets.
Are you calling me a masseuse?
No, I'm not. Lise Will, thank you very much.
You got it. Have a great day, guys.
You too. Appreciate it. Lise Will, Fox News, legal analyst here, talking about James Brady and the Reagan assassination attempt from March of '81. And luckily, when Reagan did get to the hospital, yes, all the surgeons were Republicans that day.
You're listening to John Howell and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
At 9:45, at long last, our long national nightmare has ended. Details following your forecast.
Well, just picture perfect. Plenty of sunshine, warmer weather than yesterday. 22 degrees warmer than yesterday. A high of 82 degrees tomorrow. Sunny to partly cloudy, pleasant, a high of 77.
Standing by in our ChicagoRadioDeals.com traffic center, here's Jim.
John and Amy, inbound Kennedy at Addison. There's a stall. 2 right lanes are blocked. It's about 35 minutes, so O'Hare to downtown. The delays start at Nagle. Outbound, just a 3-minute delay, Nagle to Cumberland. The Eisenhower, getting better, 37 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 32. Stevenson outbound in Harlem, there's a crash reported. Right now, it's about 40 minutes either way between 355 and Lakeshore Drive. I'm Jim Talamonte in the ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
Psoriasis and vitiligo are serious diseases. You've tried everything and have been disappointed. Now there's X-Track, a breakthrough treatment that provides long-lasting, safe relief. X-Track is FDA cleared for the treatment of psoriasis and vitiligo and is endorsed by thousands of dermatologists and hospitals because it works. Clinical studies show immediate results with up to 95% clearance. The in-office visits are fast, painless, with virtually no side effects. With thousands of providers treating patients all over the country, X-Track is covered by all major insurance companies and Medicare. We'll help you find a doctor close by, and there is no cost to you until you see results. Get your life back. Live free. Live X-Track clear. For your no-cost treatment, call now 800-260-7801. That's 800-260-7801. 800-260-7801. Or visit xtracradio.com. qualified patients, certain restrictions apply. Results may vary.
Hi, this is Steve DeJohn with the DeJohn Advisory Team, and if you have an IRA, 401k, brokerage accounts, CDs, or any retirement money, please call 866-515-6669 to get your free Paycheck for Life quote. You will be amazed on how much money you can get annually for the rest of your life. Here's what we just did for a 54-year-old client who had a $500,000 401k rollover. He received over $66,000 in free bonus money added to his original $500,000 401k. In addition, at age 70, he will receive over $79,000 every year for as long as he is alive. Visit yourretirementcheck.com or call 866-515-6669 to get your free DVD. This DVD has many other examples for you to look at. Call 866-515-6669. That's 866-515-6669 or visit yourretirementcheck.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
I've been wondering when this was going to go away, and thankfully it looks like it is ending today.
When is it going to end?
The saga of Donald Sterling, his wife, his little hottie that he used to take to the games and show off to his friends. The tape recordings that we had to listen to over and over and over, him crying.
I made such a mistake. I thought that woman really cared for me.
No, she didn't. What did the judge rule yesterday? And now Donald Sterling goes off into the dark night, correct?
He ruled yesterday that the sale has been complete. All ownership rights to the Clippers will be officially transferred to the Microsoft CEO, Steve Ballmer, by Friday. Because, of course, you know, Mr. Donald Sterling, crybaby over there, tried to stop the sale, saying that he didn't want to do it. But for some reason, someone changed his mind, and Shelley Sterling is absolutely thrilled. She can still go to the games, but her ex-husband, or estranged husband, he cannot. He still has a NBA lifetime ban, and he owes $2.5 million to the NBA.
Donald Sterling's ex-wife, has she taken Stiviano on as the official family girlfriend?
No, she has not.
Just double checking on that.
Honey, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, too.
I wish I can change the skin, the color of my skin.
That isn't the issue. You missed the issue.
What's the issue?
The issue is we don't have to broadcast it.
I'm not broadcasting anything.
Please don't put any pictures of you with the black guys on the Instagram. That's what it came down to. So Sterling gets his piece of the $2 billion, obviously.
Yeah, Shelley and Donald Sterling have to split the $2 billion. He paid $12.5 million. That's it for them back in the 80s. And he's made a very large profit, John. So good for him. But to him, money never mattered because he already had money. He just wanted to be by his team because he was a huge LA Clipper fan.
He just wanted to be by his team, and he wanted Stiviano next to him for photo op purposes.
What's wrong with minorities? What's wrong with black people?
Nothing.
What's wrong with these
It's like
families?
talking to an enemy. There's nothing wrong with minorities. They're fabulous. Fabulous. Because you're an enemy to me.
And what is going on with Stiviano? You follow her saga much closer than I do.
Well, she's still sometimes wearing that welder's shield over her face. I do believe she's selling those right now. And, you know, who snitches on their sugar daddy? She did, and their relationship is over. And I don't know if she has had to yet return at least one of the 3 expensive cars that he bought her. He also bought her a home, which she can keep, by the way, that $1.5 million townhouse. She can keep it. And she's trying to adopt 2 children from an orphanage in Central America that have special needs. Now, there is no drama here. Single mom. Well, she wants to be a single mom and raise the kids. So she's just crazy. You don't snitch on your sugar daddy.
Out of all that's wrong with Stiviano, that's what you double back to.
I do.
Never snitch.
Don't snitch on the sugar daddy, honeys.
Here's the hint from Amy Jacobson today for a more prosperous and better life. Ladies, as you're carrying on with a man literally decades older than you, half a century or better, you know what? Never snitch on your sugar daddy, lest you become just an enemy to him.
Please leave me alone. Please, please.
I'm sorry. Is there anything that I can do to make you feel better?
No, you could never make me feel better. You're just a fighter and you want to fight.
And thank goodness, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as of August 13th, 2014,
our long national nightmare is over.
You know, you don't do the right thing because there's a penalty for doing the wrong thing.
If you want to say it here.
You do the right thing because it's the right thing.
AM 560, The Answer.
A real problem. But like any other problem, if you fix the underlying cause, then the problem goes away. If you've got low water pressure in your shower, sink, or washing machine, then the underlying cause is almost always your rusted and corroded pipes. The solution is to repipe your home by replacing those old clogged pipes with new, high-quality copper pipes. I'm Jeff Butler, owner of Repipe Specialists. We've been solving this problem by giving people brand new pipes and great water flow in their house for over 2 decades. In celebration of this 20 years, for a limited time, we're offering something we have never done before, and it's just for our Illinois customers. When you repipe the hot pipes in your house with us, we'll throw in all the cold water pipes and the patching for free. Plus, you still get a lifetime guarantee. So call now, 800-737-4746. That's 800-REPIPING. Get a hot side repipe and then get the cold side and the patching for free. 800-737-4746.
Want to take a minute and talk about a story we've been hearing in the news. Our friend Israel has been under attack by an enemy, Hamas, that values death over life, a culture of death as opposed to our culture of life. The entire problem began last month when Hamas started firing missiles into Israel by the hundreds, if not thousands. The people of Israel no longer safe in their streets, in their homes. Sirens and alerts ruled their life. Safety of Israel's women and children in peril. And so Israel did what it felt it had to do to protect its citizens. It launched an offensive in Gaza to destroy the very weapons that were terrorizing innocent Israeli lives and punish the terrorists who were using them. Sadly, and yes, innocent women and children were lost in Gaza. But those losses were not an accident. They were part of a deliberate plan by Hamas to cause the death of its own women and children and then blame Israel to use them essentially as human shields and propaganda. Hamas used women and children as human shields to protect their arsenals. That is a grotesque strategy and one that must not happen again. To send a powerful message to the world that America stands with Israel in this battle for her very survival, go to StopHamasNow.com. Let our leaders know that Hamas must be disarmed. Please go to StopHamasNow.com. Do it today. Send the link to 10 friends. Stand with Israel. Go to StopHamasNow.com. Do it now. This message paid for by StopHamasNow.com.
We all know what goes up must go down. In 2013, we saw record gains, but it's more than likely that the markets are going to come crashing down like it did in 2000 and 2007. Did you know that you can make money when the market goes up or down? Learn how to beat the boys on Wall Street at their own game by attending a free half-day investing and trading class at Online Trading Academy. Over 150,000 people have experienced their unique, patented, rules-based strategy. You'll learn how to protect yourself in market fluctuations and also how to profit when the market goes up, down, or sideways. Register for our free class today. Call 888-601-8723. You'll also receive a free home study course worth $247 just for attending. Call 888-601-TRADE today. 888-601-8723. Hurry before it's too late. Call 888-601-TRADE. That's 888-601-TRADE. 888-601-TRADE.
AM 560, The Answer.
With help from Tom Beck, Jim Telemonte, Cesar Perez, our executive producer, our technical director, and speech therapist, David Stripling. It's John Howell and Amy Jacobson. Let's remind our listeners about Freedom Summit Chicago 2014.
Yes, it's happening Friday and Saturday, October 24th and 25th in Schaumburg. We're proud to welcome Sean Hannity. He hasn't been here in years, and he'll be the keynote speaker at our dinner on Friday night, along with Bobby Jindal, governor of Louisiana, and potential 2016 presidential candidate. We can also announce that Ed Klein, author of Blood Feud, will be our breakfast speaker on Saturday, the 25th. And our lunch speaker will be Dana Lash, radio host and author. And then on Saturday, after the breakfast, there'll be breakout workshops, a lunch, and a town hall media rumble with Guy Benson and Katie Pavlich, plus others. And then the weekend will conclude with our 2016 Leadership Forum. Former Congressman Joe Walsh will be there. We will be there, so don't miss this huge event. This will sell out. For more information and, more importantly, to order your tickets, go to freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com.
Hello, everybody. Alan Thicke here. You know, our nation's tax laws change every year. The one constant is you have to pay them. Now, if you're one of those millions of Americans who owes back taxes, you know that the IRS is cracking down. They can garnish your paycheck, levy your bank accounts, even your home or business could be up for grabs. But here's the good news. They're offering a new way out. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative, a government program for tax debt forgiveness. You could qualify for a settlement that's substantially less than before these changes. And nobody knows this program better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Their attorneys and enrolled agents will work to get you the best deal possible. Optima Tax Relief is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call them now for a free consultation.
Call 800-711-5743. That's 800-711-5743. 800-711-5743. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hi, I'm attorney Stephen Leahy, host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560. If you have unfiled tax returns, owe money to the IRS, facing bankruptcy or foreclosure, or have a debt crisis, I urge you to tune into my informative program Sunday afternoons at 5. The IRS Radio Hour, hosted by me, IRS Resolution Attorney Stephen Leahy. IRS and debt issues are serious, but there is help. There are resolutions, so tune in and take notes. You'll be glad you did.
Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts, sit back, relax, and join me, Ken Severa, for some in-flight entertainment every Saturday evening at midnight on Fly By Night. You can expect a really smooth flight with my comedian buddies, local personalities, and fascinating guests. You'll always be in the first class lounge for some late-night laughs and fun. Fly By Night with me, Ken Severa, this Saturday evening at midnight right here on AM 560, The Answer.
John Howell and Amy Jacobson. The show goes from 6 all the way until 11 o'clock. If you missed him, Michael Rubin, you're going to hear from the resident scholar at the American Enterprise Institute. And as he put it so eloquently, if Barack Obama was your doctor, your oncologist, and you were suffering from cancer, guess what? Get your affairs in order. This man has to learn how to move quickly. We'll begin there with Michael Rubin. John Howell and Amy Jacobson here. Let's get caught up now. In for Mike Scott with headlines and the absolute latest. Here's Tom Beck. Tom.
John, Amy, thanks. Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker now knows who he's going to face in November. Former Trek Bicycles exec Mary Burke easily won yesterday's Democratic primary. A grisly discovery on the Indonesian resort island of Bali, where the body of a 62-year-old Chicago woman was found inside a suitcase. The suitcase with Sheila Von Wiesmack's body was found Tuesday inside the trunk of a taxi. Police have arrested